There's dogs down here. I wish you could see them. They want this food. They know how good it is.
Hey guys, welcome to Cooking at the Barn. This is a new series by The Outdoor Life, and we are going to concentrate on cooking for camping and backpacking. We're not going to be looking at the ultralight stuff. This is more of a backpack, like a weekend kind of trip, and camping, whether out of your kayak or out of the back of your vehicle, or even camping at a campground. We're going to talk a little bit more about the foods that are available. We're going to come up with some meal creations and things like that. We've got to get out of this, oh, let's carry hot dogs and hamburgers everywhere we go. That's not what this show's about. We're not going to delve into the huge nutritional aspect of things. We're going to stick with what a lot of these companies have already produced. And we're just going to get into the comfort foods. I mean, again, camping's about going out and cooking. We're going to work with dehydrated foods. We're going to work with pre-prepped meals, and even bringing fresh meat and grilling it outside while we're there. So that's what this new series is about. I hope you enjoy it. If you got any ideas or comments or some recipes of your own, send them our way and we'll give them a shot. Today we're going to cover a couple of things. We're going to talk about Mountain House foods and how to make it better, and we're going to talk about the new sport that's on the market. There's a few of these brands that are coming out. These things are pretty cool. Morsel sent these over. I really enjoyed using them. We're going to show you why these might be better for you. So let's start off with the Mountain House foods. Now, Mountain House comes in a variety of different flavors. They are the industry leader and standard in dehydrated foods as well as survival foods. There's a lot of other companies out there that are making dehydrated meals, gourmet meals for backpacking and camping, and they're all great. And we're going to touch on those in future episodes, but today we're going to talk specifically about Mountain House and Mountain House's standard line of foods. They do have a gourmet, if you will, kind of line coming out. They've got a couple of flavors that we are testing, and I'll have another video on that. So they do come in two different package types. They come in the vacuumed, all the air gone Pro Packs, as well as the regular size, lay it flat kind of package. This is a 3 serving and this is a 2 serving. So this is a little bit bigger, but they do have it in 2 servings as well. The difference is that this will shrink up really tiny and tight, while this will actually lay flatter. So, you know, it's depending on what your packing needs are. One of the things that I like to do is right before I'm going on a trip is I'll poke a little hole in one of these and get all the air out of it, and then put a little piece of tape over it so that it's taking up as minimal space as possible. But we're gonna jump into the Pro Pack. This is the rice and chicken. The other thing that we're gonna do to this is we're gonna add some extra protein. One of my favorites on the trail is Sweet Sioux chicken. This stuff is the bomb. It does come in a smaller package. This is a 7.5. It comes in a package about this size, which is 3 ounces. This 7.5, this is 3 ounces. This is tuna. Tuna is something that you can add to some of the other meals. I'm not a big tuna fan. I brought this out to show you the difference in the package size. But it does come in a smaller. I tried to find some, and I guess it's one of those things that's a little bit difficult to find nowadays. So I have the 7.5, which is going to go in with the serving. We're not going to use all of it. This would be great for the 3 serving meal, because this is really only good for about 2.5, maybe two people. But we're going to go ahead and bust this out today, and we're going to see what it can do. All right, before we get started, there's a couple of accessories that I like to use when I'm cooking dehydrated food. Obviously, the jet boil is gonna be the #1. This is my Sumo. I do have a Minimo as well that I take when I'm backpacking, or if I'm kayak camping and I need a little bit more room. But again, this one's great because it'll handle a lot more water. You can cook a couple of your mountain houses at the same time, or you can cook larger amounts for different amount of people. The other thing that we're going to talk about is this neoprene pouch. that is designed for putting your mountain house into. This will insulate the pouch that you're cooking in, and it will actually cook a whole lot better. There's a couple of people out there on the market, myself included, that have made homemade ones of these, and they work pretty good, but they don't work as well as the Optimus does. But we'll have another video on the difference. I'll show you what the difference is. And lastly, when you're cooking and you're out camping, you've got to have something to drink. This is Anchor Brewing's new San Francisco IPA. This beer is the bomb. I've had a couple of them, and it really goes well with this kind of stuff. It's a light blonde, and it works really well with lighter foods during the summer. So we'll keep that out on there. And again, with the Sweet Sue. So let's get busy. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road. So the first thing we're gonna do is fire up our jet boil. Now, when it comes to jet boils and different types of these cooking utensils, the one thing that you gotta pay attention to is you want something that has a simmering effect. Those low heat simmering effect is going to be much more versatile. The instant on, instant cook kind of things, I mean, this will crank out this hot water in less than a couple minutes. But it will also, the regulator will get low enough that you can actually simmer stuff in it, so it won't just burn the crap out of your jet boil. So let's go ahead and get this fired up and get this cooking. So we'll go ahead and set that aside. We'll get our mountain house ready. The one thing that you got to do is look at the back and make sure that you're using the right amount of water. Personally, in Florida, I like to drop about a quarter, maybe just a little bit more of what it says. So if this one is at a 1 3/4 cup, so I've dropped a 1/4 cup off of that. That'll work pretty good. You also want to make sure that you get out the little drying pack that's in there. And then go ahead and fluff up your meal. Get it all ready and fluffy for your water. Get ready to take. That's the morsel. This is the fork. I like the longer one for the mountain house stuff because I can get down in the bottom. This little rubber end on here, make sure that I can scrape everything up, but we'll talk about this in a second. So. We'll let that crank up. Go ahead and put your pouch inside of your heating container. Get it ready. All right. We are fully to a boil. Love jet boils, man. They're instant on, instant go. So let's get everything inside. Set that over here out of the way. Make sure you're stirred up, including all of your corners. Let's bring our plate over here. Okay, seal this off. And let's give it a few minutes to cook. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes now, so we're gonna go ahead and just briefly open this. Just give it a nice little stir. Make sure all the water is mixed in well. And again, the little rubber part of this, the little rubber part of these forks is just awesome for this because it's getting down in the corners, it's getting down in all of the different crevices and making short work of making sure everything is mixed up really well. Let's get inside here. It's looking pretty good so far. Smells awesome. So we're getting pretty close to being done there. So let's go ahead and close this up. Now, one thing I'm gonna do while we're waiting for this to cook, I'm gonna go ahead and add some dessert to this meal. Because we've got our main course, we've got some extra protein that we're gonna be adding in. We've got our beer, and we need some dessert. Everybody's gotta have dessert. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some of this raspberry crumble. This stuff is dynamite. But we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot here real quick so you guys can see what it looks like. And we'll go from there. Okay, so we have our raspberry crumble over here in its pouch. We have the chocolate crumbs to go on top of it. We'll check that out in a minute. We have our beer, we have our chicken and rice, and we have our chicken. So let's go ahead and finish preparing our meal here. So we'll pop this open, check out what we got going on here. Oh man, this stuff looks the bomb. All right, so let's go ahead and get some of our chicken out. Go ahead and mix up some of this right inside the pouch, right here. I like keeping everything inside the neoprene pouch. The nice thing about it is it doesn't burn your hands. So let's go ahead and move some of this back and just add some of this chicken right to it. This chicken is good just by itself. You can eat it right out of the pouch if you want. And it also comes with low water, so it's not a lot of oil and water in there. You don't have to drain it. Just mix this all in. There we go. Add some more to it. All right, we'll set this aside. Finish stirring this up. And this, stirring it in the pouch like this will warm that chicken right up and just add some nice flavor and texture to it. All right, so let's go ahead and get us out of serving. Set that aside. And again, this rubber on here, let's talk about these real quick. So these are a 5-in-1. They come as a long spoon, as a regular, for stirring, a regular short spoon for like cereals and granolas and stuff. It's got this edge on here that is rubber, so that way it does all the scraping and gets everything out that you need. And then on the fork side, it has a fork, and it's rigid. I haven't tried cutting like steak or anything with it, but it definitely would cut chicken and, you know, fish for sure. So it's a 5-in-1. They're very light. This is 10.5 inches. So this guy, even with the food on it, sorry about that. So you're looking at about 22 grams, and you're looking at right around 3/4 of an ounce. And then this one here, you're looking at just under 0.5 ounce. And at 16 grams. So as you can tell, they're pretty light, they're pretty tough, very durable, and they do a good job. So let's go ahead and clean up our mess here. Next thing we need to do is we need to look at our crumble and see how this looks. So let's go ahead and open this up. Oh my God. Here's our dessert. Oh man, that just looks awesome. Let's go ahead and set that aside and add a little bit of our chocolate topping onto it. Voila. Oh, can't forget the beer. Anchor's got a lot of different kind of beers and IPAs. It's pretty good. I've really enjoyed them since I've tried them. I've drunk a lot of different kind of brew pub beers and stuff, and these guys are right there with that. The chunks of chicken in here, that's what makes this more like a home cooked meal. It adds that extra texture. I know that there's some dehydrated chicken in there, but adding that sweet Sioux chicken in there and those chunks, it comes in bigger chunks too if you want. But it adds a layer of texture to it that makes it more like a home cooked meal versus something that came out of a bag. So there's your meal for the day. This is camping at the barn with the Outdoor Life, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that there's something here that you can take away and try at your next camping trip. You guys gotta get on top of this stuff. Wow, that beer's really good. Now that's a meal.